Did you watch the one earlier on Global Comics that I posted?
I was actually watching it a few minutes ago. You're talking about how it's like a dungeon because they got Kardashian now and stuff, right? I didn't finish
Yeah.
it though.
Yep.
Yeah. I was still watching the one you dropped yesterday, where you were reviewing Holy Ark, and then later on you just started finishing your own drawings.
Yeah, and then my eyes went out. It's just,
Yeah.
dog. It's so crazy. It's like, can a nigga get a break? Come on.
Yeah, you were pushing it. I saw you crying about the eyes for like 10 minutes straight. I'm like, this nigga needs to sit down. You still pushing?
Yo, bro. I did not want to put down the pen. I was like, nah, I gotta try to finish these pages. But oh well. I did what I could.
Yeah. Nah, I watched the earlier one. I think I'm at the point where you're talking about art crumbs or something, talking about how she works at Global Comics and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know in what position, but she works there. And now she's managed to kill, quote unquote, all the competition, right? I suppose I was one of them. Convince everybody that Coffee Comics is mean and evil. Don't believe him. Be in a rut like me and have a diet of burgers and whiskey every single day. Yeah. So screw that, man. Screw that. All right, we got 8 people in the house. What's up, people? Back with Pierce. It's been a while, but we're back at it. How you been, Pierce?
Yeah, I've been alright, man. How you been?
Oh, you know, niggas, hunchbacks. But I'll be fine. It is what it is. Okay, y'all. So the topic today is is manga failing because of the falling birth rates in Japan? Now I know other people be like, is that all you care about? You just want to consume manga and you don't care about the Japanese disappearing. You want to use them for their manga. Not really, bro. That's not really, and that kind of is one of their biggest exports, anyways. But oh well. But this idea was Pierce's idea, bro. What made you send me that one clip of Abba and Preach? Of all people, actually talking about um, this situation that Japan finds itself in.
Well, when I saw the video, it was like pretty shocking because I didn't know it was that bad because I've heard about like the declining birth rates in Asia. Like, I think Korea is going through the same thing, but I didn't know it was this severe because in that clip they were talking about how Japan is like facing over 1 million deaths a year, and the birth rate just keeps declining while the death rate keeps climbing, and most of the population is just old people. And like the projections are crazy because they're like in 50 years or something, they might go extinct. Like they might just go extinct because in 50 years, if everything keeps going the way it's going now, it's gonna be It's gonna be an economic catastrophe, basically.
Right.
Yeah,
Funny
and
enough.
like
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that this might be like a small indicator, but I think people need to take into consideration how much it impacts so many industries and just Japan as a whole. Like, if the birth rate keeps declining and the economy crashes, so many things are going to be affected, not just manga or anime. Like, Japan has a lot of exports. A lot. Even for us here in South Africa, like cars, most of our cars come from there. So,
Now, without a doubt, funny enough, right? I just remembered that in high school, since grade 9, over 15 years ago, I've been keeping up with Japanese news. And you want to know what just struck me right now? 16 years ago, 17 years ago, when I was keeping up, going on Japan Today's website, right? Um, the doomsday at the time, the doomsday news or headline of how Japan would fall apart guess what it was, bro? It was not the birth rate thing. Guess what it was?
What was it?
It was Mount Fuji going off. Since it's a
I think I
volcano.
remember that.
Bruh.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, so it just struck me right now that no, man. No, something. It was always like international news to some extent if you're following it, right? Because, if other mainstream media had nothing to talk about, they'd always talk about how Mount Fuji could go off. This could ruin Japan's economy. It would be another Hiroshima in a way, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait. This manufactured doomsday to keep everybody in fear, filled with anxiety, as the oligarchs continue to eat off our plates like nobody's business. It just struck me now that, nah, man, I refuse this time to have the same levels of concerns about Japan or any other place just because mainstream media is talking about doomsday and so on. Like, I kind of refuse. So, what do you think about that? Like, is it possible that mainstream media is just sensationalizing it? Because Albert and Preach, I mean, they are dudes who react to trendy things. They had nothing else to talk about because I could tell Preach did not care. Guy was just rolling his eyes all the time, And it's like, yeah, well, why would he care? ABBA just came up with this idea, and it's like, oh, let's talk about Japan going down. And one of the things they spoke about was, Japan is so praised for many things, but people have no idea how tough they have it. They have their own problems there. It was such a generic conversation. Their attempt to show importance about Japan declining was very lacking, Wouldn't you say, now that you actually process it?
I mean, probably, but I don't think they were trying to make. If you watch their content, I don't think they ever try to go into into the layers of the things they discuss. Like you say, they just talk about trendy stuff, However, this particular topic, I feel like it does need a lot of eyes because we have been talking about it. We have been talking about it for years, bro. Like, the birth rate thingy is becoming a problem because the workforce of Japan is now
importing immigrants.
What?
Is importing immigrants?
Yeah, that's another topic as well. But I was just gonna focus on the Japan aspect, like without the immigrants, because I was gonna say, yeah, they have their own problems, and I don't think Aber and Preach really touched on the problems much. Like you said, they really touched on like the surface level stuff, because I don't think they're that interested in it. It's just like news, like headlines and stuff. But I do think it's worth discussing because it affects so many things, especially for us. Me and you make manga, MANAA. I think it is a very important conversation to have. I don't think it's like something we should take lightly.
Okay.
Because we can say that now, and then in like 30 years, it's gonna be like a crisis, and it's gonna affect everyone. I feel like Japan has such a huge impact on the world. We don't really talk about it a lot, but it has a huge impact. I don't wanna like have to buy cars for like a million rand or something like that because the economy in Japan is exploding.
Well, that's gonna happen whether they are here or not. So hey, I mean, how much is lettuce right now, bro? It is like 2-3 times more than what it used to be. So nothing we can do about that. But I hear your point. Japan is important to the global economy. There are exports in tech, in entertainment, and also even their food exports are very important for those who don't want to be poisoned by normal food, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that industry is specifically for those who can afford it, the oligarchs and so on.
Yeah.
The rest of us gotta stick to Pick and Pay, bro. ShopRite even. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Let me read the comments quick. We got in the house. What's up, man? Fat Crumbs is wild, bro. Fat Crumbs she leaves no crumbs behind, bro. It's in the name. It's in the name. So hey, what am I supposed to do? We got Luck in the house. And Federal J. Japan has everything inspiring, no more. And I notice when they get to episode 100 or 200, it gets really crappy. I don't think comics and manga are meant to go that long. Yeah, definitely not. But obviously they gotta keep the gravy train going because they don't know what else to do. They gotta keep that gravy coming in.
Have you read a manga called Kingdom?
Yeah.
Kingdom is at like chapter. Well, last
800.
time I checked. Yeah, like last time I checked, it was at 700, bro, and it was still fire, bro. Like,
Nah,
I don't know
guy,
who's making it, but the guy's a beast, bro.
Yeah, that guy is something else, bro. Truly.
That guy's a beast,
But
bro.
it is intimidating to get into it so late in the game, you know.
Yeah, the numbers are pretty like demotivating. But like, if you can get into it, it's one of the better seinens that I've ever read. Honestly, I'm not up to date with it, but I think I'm at chapter 200 or 300, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. Like, the guy knows how to write characters and stuff. I never thought I would be into a Chinese manga, you know, but somehow actually.
It's
The
actually
Chinese
Japanese. The guy's Japanese.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Maybe.
meant like the story. The story is about Chinese dynasty, right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. I meant the story. But like, it's starting to look like the Chinese stuff is taking over. Have you seen like the recent?
Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, like that's in the gaming sphere. Yeah, there's a Black Myth Wukong, and there's another one coming out. Right, they announced last night that there's another Black Myth game coming out, and I was just gonna like highlight how they're trying to take over in every industry, like in gaming. And a friend of mine like is telling me that Chinese anime, bro, is on the come up right now. Like, he's watched some Chinese anime that is absolutely fire, bro. And he's telling me stuff like even the manga is getting on point, like starting to up that level of quality, you know. So it's looking like they might take over, you know. I thought Korea might take over, but they still have the manhwas and stuff. I don't know. In my view, I know I'm pretty biased, but I've always viewed manga as superior to manhwas and stuff, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
agree.
I don't know. The technical proficiency of manga just impresses me more, I guess.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, what were you gonna say?
That I've watched some Chinese anime. There's one called The Devouring Whale or something. The animation is peak. The story is pretty interesting, but I'm just maxed out from consuming new things in general. That's just me, you know. But indeed, they are producing like really, really good work right now. They see a gap in the market. They see Japan's strength and influence in this market fall apart. So they want to capitalize. But then again, we need to ask the question of like, you know, how is it that they can produce such high quality at such a pace? You know, China is a powerhouse. It's a superpower right now, you know, and they understand that cultural warfare is also important now. America won cultural warfare for a very long time, almost for 100 years or so at this point, right? Thanks to American TV, you could say they won the culture, bro, since the 60s, right? Hollywood, that's American culture. Well, you know, it's twisted American culture. The OG culture, nobody knows what the heck it looks like or what it was. But ultimately, China sees that, no, we will have leverage in this cultural war. We will focus on a lot of our folk laws and you know, cultural things of old, and we're going to share it with the world. we're going to show that we are superior. Because Japan, goes through a lot of themes. It's not just about, Japanese history and samurai and stuff like that. They explore a lot. But so far, China has been exporting a lot of mostly ancient Chinese folklore and stuff like that. And I think Chinese billionaires who are outside of mainland China, they are responsible for this, because a lot of the kung fu movies we all used to like watching, because now they kind of not the same. These were sponsored by people outside of mainland China, mostly Chinese people in Hong Kong, Chinese people in America, in San Francisco, because mainland China, rife with communism and Marxism, they didn't want any of that to be dished out to the people. They wanted to destroy the culture, the tradition, the folk laws of what made China what it was, right? So it was investors from the outside that decided that no, we will keep alive our culture. Even that billionaire Jack Ma, you know him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He funded a kung fu movie that he was in. He was in it, and I think Jet Li was in it as well, right? But that goes to show that indeed, like, it's outsiders who still respect the Chinese heritage, that they are keeping it alive. Now they are focusing on Chinese fantasy, right, in their movies and stuff like that. A lot of CGI. The kung fu just ain't the same, but it's still authentically Chinese, right? So that's the thing. The Chinese billionaires have a massive tactical advantage right now, economic advantage, versus the Japanese. Japanese economy has been like underwater for over 30 years at this point, bro.
Yeah, it is crazy though, because as you mentioned, they have a crazy tactical advantage, economical advantage. They have the resources, and another thing about the Chinese fantasy is that it's rich, bro. Like, these Chinese stories and Chinese historical fantasy stories, like, they're so rich and interesting. So, and the outsiders actually respect this stuff, and they want it to be authentically Chinese. I feel like that is pretty threatening to Japan and America, because to people, well, not to people, just like everyone, no one really knows a lot about Chinese folklore and stuff like that, right? So it's still pretty new, and that market is empty, like you mentioned. It is pretty empty right now. Japan is not producing anything interesting. Um, Even the stuff that they're producing now. I mean, everyone's talking about solo leveling right now, and that's a Korean IP. So, like, that tells you everything you need to know. And Japan is basically falling into the same trap that America is falling into, or fallen into, where they don't have anything to tell anymore. They just romanticize past errors, and you know how American stories now are just about action movie stars in the 70s or stuff that takes place in the 80s or the 60s. They're just romanticizing their own history now. They have nothing new to tell us. Japan is slowly falling into that trap where they don't have anything new to say anymore. I don't know if it's the new producers or, like, I don't know. But China right now is giving us stuff that we pretty much don't know about. Did you know about, like, I'm sure you probably know about Wukong, but not a lot of people know about Zhang Kui, like the new guy that's getting a game now. And all these, like, they have so many games coming out now, man, it's crazy. And I haven't even watched the animes or the manga. I'm just, like, hearing from people that they're absolutely insane. So if they have cultural advantage, economic advantage, and all these things, what's stopping them, really?
Yeah, nothing is stopping them. They capitalizing on it. This is the thing. Oh, when I say, yo, guys, look at the gap in the market. Look at be able to spot opportunity. Don't waste time. Don't lollygag. Don't just sit there. I mean, this is how you take advantage of situations. By noticing what's missing, by noticing that there is a demand that you can fill, And China is fulfilling a demand right now. There's a demand for the anime aesthetic. In Japan, China is fulfilling it because Japan is falling apart. Japan's funding is, dwindling out here. The Japanese government funded even the Battle of Gods movie all those years ago when it came out. I think, 2019 or 2014? I don't remember. But point is, the Japanese government has its own weird, unique reserve bank that I just don't know how it works. But they are like 300 trillion yen in debt. That is insane. But obviously, to be this much in debt and still be floating, food still rather affordable, housing still affordable, it doesn't make any logical sense. They keep getting bailed out because they're still useful to the global economy. So it explains that, part of the reason the story sucks, no doubt about it, because of BlackRock. America is also in debt, $34 trillion in debt, right? And it's been rising. I remember watching a lot of those political talks, how governors would be like, is the debt bubble just going to keep rising and rising? This is going to ruin things, blah, blah, blah. Well, it hasn't ruined things yet, but it does contribute to inflation and yada, yada, yada. But China does not need to take BlackRock's money because China doesn't really need a bailout right now. China sacrificed 40 million people during Mao Zedong's rule that people never talk about. The boogeyman of the 19th or 20th century is always Hitler. No, it's not, right? No, it's not. It's Stalin and Mao. But no one wants to talk about that. So Mao sacrificing 30 million people, right? Wiping out a huge portion of the countryside, trying to destroy China's folklore and ancient culture to replace it with that communism, right? In a way, it allowed them to build up industry very, very quickly. And those people who were left behind, they were, people want to say, it uprooted 40 million people out of poverty. How, bro? Tell us how. You never want to go into the details. By sacrificing another 40 million. And then by uprooting these ones who remained, you just put them in a factory for 60 years and you call that freedom? You call that awesomeness? I don't think so. So the government took action in China and put these dudes in sweatshops, told America that deindustrialize your own nations and come set up shop here for cheap labor. For 60, 50 years, China has been getting all kinds of money, operating at a huge profit, in which right now they are not in a debt that is so detrimental to their ambitions, right? Compared to Japan, compared to America, right? That's why they don't really take BlackRock money. They don't need it. The Chinese billionaires who own most likely a lot of shipping companies, shipping product and cargo across the world, they have all kinds of leverage. They'd be like, no, fund this ish. Jack Ma, fund this. I want this culture to be known worldwide. We're taking over right now, right? And that's the advantage that China has right now. Japan, it's not so much that their population is dwindling, that things are starting to suck. But it's because they need to get bailed out all the time by these mega corporations that they sold themselves to. So what can you do when it's like that? It's not really their fault, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I hear everything you said, right? But I want to ask you this. What do you think can help Japan right now? With everything that you mentioned and every fact that you said and speculation, what do you think can help Japan come from underneath everything that's going on right now?
The only thing that can help them is to close the gate, bro. Close the gate. Kick them niggas out. Kick everybody out. The gaijin must leave. Japan tried to close their gates. Long time ago. 200 years ago, they tried. But the Europeans were too strong. Like, look, we're going to open that gate, right? You're going to trade with us. And you're going to be part of this developing world, this new age that we are building right now. And you're going to like it, right? They didn't have a choice. And then when World War II broke out and they went to war, they totally got nuked. That was just the admission that y'all don't have the power to defend yourselves. You don't have the power to influence the world with hard power in particular, right? So soft power was initiated using Japanese literature, books, history through manga, right? Media and anime and whatnot. This was a new way for them to make an imprint on the new world. But because they opened the gates, right? Unfortunately, too many dudes came in and be like, yo, we want some shares over here. I mean, you could use them. You're going to have to put your companies in the public, right? Make it public, no longer private like that. And we're going to buy these shares and we're going to influence what you got to do. Japan has to close the gate. It's the only way, but it's impossible at the same time. Because if they do close the gate and say, F you, America, we don't need you anymore, well, most likely Trump will be like, oh, well, you see North Korea over there and China that you guys ransacked not so long ago? Yeah, they're going to come for you and we're not going to help you. I don't think y'all have the firepower to withstand North Korea and China combined. So, you see,
that is true. That is true. I want to ask you something else. Do you think that Japan owns manga and anime?
Not anymore.
So, do you think that if Japan were to like lose the market share of anime and manga, like let's just say tomorrow they can't produce manga anymore, they can't produce anime anymore, and we already see that China's coming up, Korea's coming up, all these different people are coming up and using that style that Japan, I guess, sort of invented. We can just say that now, even though not really, but that those are the people who made it popular, right? It's their thing. If they somehow can't do it anymore, and now we have to watch Chinese anime, read Chinese manga, or Korean manga, those things now become the anime, the manga. Do you think that manga and anime lose something if that happens?
Of course. It's going to lose that one ingredient that made it authentically Japanese. But the problem is that a lot of people are normies. Normies are watching anime. Like 16 years ago, when I was in high school, when you watched anime, people thought you were weird and creepy, right? Now those exact same people who called you weird and creepy are now watching it, right? Like thug niggas. You know them thug niggas I'm talking about, bro. Dudes who hang out at the taxi rank, bro, drinking Black Label. They watching anime. They openly talk about, yeah, Dragon Ball Super is and it's like, what's this flipping alcohol nigga talking about? Disgracing Dragon Ball like that with his damn liquor breath, right? But if they are now consuming anime, it's a problem. Dudes in the shibin watching anime say, oh, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen is yawa. Bro, it's late, man. It's totally late. So they won't even notice what has been lost. If the Chinese take over the market, they won't know that it's the Chinese producing this. They're like, yeah, anime, you know. It's a damn shame. The normies, bro, they ruined everything because so long as it appeals to their three primal instincts, they want to eat it up.
That is... So you're basically implying that the product itself has already been like infected with the normies as consumers, basically. So, in a way, the product has already lost a bit of its value because now it has been basically infiltrated by normies. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. Unfortunately. Can you check the comments real quick? Because I'm trying to win this fight.
Okay. All Devouring Whale, low-key one of my favorites manga right now, along with To Be Hero X. Have you read that? To Be Hero?
No, I think I saw the anime, but
Has an anime already? I remember it had a manga only. I didn't know it had an anime already.
Nah, I didn't know it had a manga, but I think I saw the anime, so yeah.
And Yuna says, Link Clink is a masterpiece. When they step away from quantity, they just make gold. Is that a Chinese anime? Link Click? Do you know it?
Yeah, I think so. I remember seeing it somewhere. I didn't click on it, but I'm sure he's talking about a Chinese anime since we're talking about it.
It seems like the general consensus is that they're starting to make like bangers now, so it makes everything interesting.
No, wait. You see, a general consensus is exactly the problem, right? It's exactly the problem. Normies are saying this, bro. Hunchbacks are saying, yeah, bro. Like everyone's agreeing. Is that how you determine that something is good? Because everyone is saying it.
But we also said it. You said you also see the quality coming up.
Yeah, but you and I should have a better eye for judging things, right? And I referenced the All Devouring Whale as something because I looked at and I watched a couple of episodes of that and I liked it, right? But I won't lie, the main hook was profoundly superficial. It was how incredible the animation was. Because Chinese anime is not new. I remember like 6-7 years ago, a bunch of them also came out where they had very bright colors and good animation, and it was actually trying to compete with Japanese anime in the isekai department. Mm-hmm. But people were not talking about it. It just didn't land. So now that Japan's falling apart, dudes are saying, oh, it's amazing. No, you're just saying that because Japan just ain't keeping it up like that. China has always been producing this stuff almost for a decade now.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know much about the anime and the manga from China. I just know that Black Metal Clan was a fire game, bro. Like, that game was so good, man. Oh my god, bro. I mean, America's not even in the competition anymore. I think now it's just Korea, Japan, and China. And Japan is going last place right now, unfortunately. Also says China is finally going to a good direction. Is it though? Is it a good direction? I don't know, man. Luck says, and the most threatening thing is that China actually has the funds and resources to actually satisfy the animators given how big they are. That is also a problem because I've heard crazy stories about Japan and how they treat the animators and stuff. Horrible stuff. Ryuga says, Coffee, would you ever make a light novel for Bloody Hell or one-shot like that Minato one-shot from Naruto?
No. I don't want to be like White Wanga, making a light novel nobody asked for. You got to supply a demand, bro. You should not just do things because other people are doing it. Is there a demand for a light novel of your work? Yes or no? Definitely no in my case, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, but did people want the Minato one?
People read it because it's another Naruto thing. That's it. How many people actually bought the thing or cared about it to that degree. Ah, come on, bro.
This actually goes back to what I was saying about how Japan is like now just going back to stuff that they've already established, like America.
Yeah, relying
Now,
on what worked
yeah,
a long
yeah,
time ago.
relying on just nostalgia and stuff. It's like, I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and we were talking about how right now the market, basically the anime and the manga market, is being held by one IP in Japan. And that's
Dragon Ball.
One Piece.
Oh, One
Nah,
Piece.
it's One Piece. Yeah, it's One Piece. Like, Dragon Ball as a franchise makes a lot of money, yeah. But we're talking about manga more than like franchises, right? Basically, I was making the example that when they sell the magazines, like whether it's Shueisha, Kodansha, doesn't matter. One Piece is the one thing that people still want to read. That's long running. So still one of the most recognizable faces in manga, right? And it's like the last of its kind because most of the new ones they don't even make it past 300 chapters, right? And that's not a bad thing. But I'm just saying that the days of Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece are gone. I don't think a big three will ever come back.
Never. It's over.
I don't think it would ever come back. I think those days are gone. And because of that, you always mention familiarity, right? It's like a big thing for you. It's a big thing to the consumers as well. If they buying a like a shonen magazine, and there's no One Piece, like the day One Piece ends, and it's just the magazine is just full of new IPs and stuff, it's gonna lose so much appeal. Because right now, especially in the West, people know manga because of One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto. Sure, they're willing to try new stuff, but that's because of the animes. People in the West don't buy shonen magazines, right? So the magazine itself is gonna die if One Piece ends. That's just the conversation we were having. That's the discussion that we were having. That the whole thing is held by One Piece. You can mention Dragon Ball as a franchise because Dragon Ball now is so big, it doesn't really need a manga, I mean, you're seeing it with Daima. They're making so many spin-offs, but animes, games, it's too big now to just focus on the manga of Dragon Ball Z. But One Piece, though, is also headed in that direction, right? With the show, the live action, the new anime that they're going to be making, it's slowly gravitating beyond the manga, right?
And it's a remake.
They're just doing something that we've all seen, right? Like, the new anime is just giving us the start of One Piece all over again, which is a problem.
Yeah.
So, that's my 2 cents on, the market of Japan right now. One Piece is like Luffy stretching and he's holding everything together with his gum fruit.
Yeah.
Once he snaps, bro, once the story ends, I'm sure Oda's been trying to end it, and they're like, no, bro, you cannot. We own you. Go back in the dungeon, bro. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey,
Nah.
when that day comes, I don't know how Japan will move forward from that. They still haven't even moved past Dragon Ball. You can see how, like, if Dragon Ball was a cow, bro, they have milked the milk out. It's just blood coming out now. No milk. It's out of milk, bro. Have you ever seen that meme where this guy is just milking one cow till blood comes out and it's skinny as fuck, bro?
Yeah.
That's Dragon Ball Z right now. They're milking. One Piece is next. I'm telling you now. So, we should be happy that Naruto and Bleach are having such dignified endings and it's just like respectable. Like Naruto is something else because there's Boruto now, and I don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But Bleach somehow is just sacred right now. It's sacred right now.
Yeah. Kubo is very, very lucky, bro. He's very lucky.
He's very lucky, man. He's extremely lucky.
What a shame. But oh well. I agree with you, bro. Once One Piece is gone, I mean everything around aside from Jump and One Piece, is completely not keeping things together, and it's rather superficial. You can have things like Gachi Akuda, which has got a very strong visual style, decent story, but no one can forge the same relationship with Gachi Akuda as we forge a relationship with Dragon Ball, Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. They just can't, right?
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
They'll never know. I mean, look at me right now. I'm playing a flipping 17-year-old game with a mod. This,
Exactly.
I got this before I was in high school, I think. Yeah, long before I was in high school, bro. Primary school-ish. And I'm playing it as a 30-year-old dude right now, right? This is how impactful Dragon Ball was in my life. This is how much I forged a relationship with this IP, with these characters. There is no way that IPs dished out in Japan right now or anywhere else can do what the OGs did. Our minds were very fertile in those days. We were not bombarded with endless insanity and TikTok brain garbage, right? The fertility of our mind serving as, fertile soil, right, absorbed the richness of these stories that were given back in the day. Now, even if you were to find somebody with a fertile mind, with soil that can absorb something entirely, what they absorb is garbage, right? It's complete garbage. There isn't a proper harvest of anything. The seeds don't really grow, right? It just poisons the land, it poisons the soil. So it's a disaster.
It is. It is. Let me read some more comments. Black Swan Story says, "Ain't nobody about to buy no Chinese manga." Well, you say that now. You say that now, bro. You'll see. You never know with these things. You can't just say that. You never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, at the moment, definitely nobody buying Chinese manga.
Yeah,
No one
right
looking
now,
for Chinese
yeah.
manga.
Right
Yeah.
now, for sure. And then he says, no freedom of expression. Well, most of the people in China want to talk about Chinese folklore and stuff. So, I don't. Maybe it's because I haven't heard any stories where people are like, want to make manga and they're getting shut down because of the themes in their stories. I haven't heard of that recently.
Most people who make manga or have that level of liberty to create whatever they want, they are in Taiwan and Hong Kong. Honestly, most mainland Chinese people are stuck at the factory, bro, working 24/7 or the sweatshop, or if they're not doing that, they're going out to festivals, chilling with the family and eating nuggets. That's it.
Making iPhones. They're busy building iPhones.
Exactly, like proper gulag vibes. It's sad.
Yeah. Ryuga says 80s and 90s anime was wild. It was unique, so original. You had Golden Boy, Sailor Moon, Devilman. There was also an anime about a girl raised as a man in the 1600s, and an anime called Dragon Ball. Okay, now they figured out a formula, and now make power scaling isekai basically fast food. JJK and Solo Leveling are prime examples. No plot, story, character progression, just good animation, which killed anime. I mean, I was gonna talk about JJK. Like the JJK manga ended, and ever since it ended, I haven't heard nobody talk about it the way we still talk about the old. Like, it's almost like it ended, people saw it end, people moved on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that was it.
It's disposable.
People
It was
cried
toilet
for like
paper.
a week, and then it moved on. That's it.
It was disposable, bro. It's proper toilet paper. Like you see Togashi, creator of Hunter x Hunter. This dude drops a picture on Twitter that he's back. Everybody gets on their knees and start praying and thanking the Lord for his good health, bro. That dude gets like hundreds and thousands of likes for some basic-ish Even I like his stuff, so I'm like, hey, Togashi. Oh yeah, totally. But it just goes to show that Togashi is one of the OG kings of shonen, right? And he's still alive, and his work is unaffected by the slop and garbage. He works at his own pace, to our unfortunate detriment. But at least let him work at his pace, so that he doesn't get affected and mess up the story, right? But the point is that people will flood his stuff, his posts, and give him the praise. If the Jujutsu Kaisen guy posts something right now, or comes back with something right now, it's never going to reach the same levels. Hirokoshi posts things here and there, some thirst trap images of one of his female characters. Yeah, it could get like 50,000 likes, but that's like a full-on artwork versus Togashi, a line can get 200,000 likes. So there are levels to this, bro. People know that now nobody's gonna hit it the same as Togashi, Toriyama, Kubo. I mean, Kubo now doesn't really get that many likes, but that's because he noticed that I don't care about y'all. Y'all won't eat anything I give you anyway, so screw you. So
Yeah, man, Togashi's very lucky, man. Like, he's blessed by the gods, man. I don't know, because Hunter x Hunter is one of the most respected IPs ever. It has 2 anime adaptations, and both of them are pretty good. Like, both of them are pretty solid, right? And his stories haven't been tarnished as much as the other IPs, like DBZ, Naruto. They haven't really been tarnished. It's almost like he signed a contract or something, and he was like, only I'm touching my IPs. No one is touching. Because the guy takes so many hiatuses, you would assume that the studios would be like, just end it and let us write a sequel for you and get someone to draw it or something. But no, they respect what he says. They respect his pace and everything. Like, what a legend, bro.
I think Jump allows this because he actually does have his own studio, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so he is not bound by Jump's regulations, really. But Jump allows him to publish through them. And they understand that, well, we're going to get a big bag. Each time a volume comes out of Hunter x Hunter, everybody flocks to the shop, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no one else questions. They're just going in. Even if they ain't going to read it, they're going to be like, nah, I'm just going in, bro. I'm going to buy even 3 of them just because. You know?
I mean, it's Hunter x Hunter, man. Like, Hunter x Hunter is just good, bro. Like, it's just a good story. I don't even know where the story's at right now because I'm up to date. Last time I was reading it, they just got to the Dark Continent or whatever, and I was like, they should just animate this, bro. Like, but yeah, let me just read some more comments. Ola says, yo, One Piece is in its final saga right now. Bro, Oda's been saying that.
Yeah, like since the end of high school, bro.
Dude, it's been in the final saga, bro. Once One Piece ends, it's all downhill from there for Shonen Jump. Yep, we are anticipating it. And then Luck says, wonder what's gonna happen once One Piece ends. Never thought about it until now. You guys think Ichi the Witch or Kagurabachi can hold a candle to that name? Be the next big thing? I highly doubt it, bro.
Nah, bro.
Kagurabachi is not even as hot as he was when it started right now.
At all, man. I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah.
Like, it just ain't making the same waves at
Yeah,
all.
like, these shows can't sustain
Themselves.
themselves, because they always start with so much hype, and then once people actually start reading this stuff, the hype just dies, like, because the quality of the stuff is not that great. They just can't sustain it. Like, even, you can make a practical example about Chainsaw Man. I remember when Chainsaw Man was about to get an anime, at some point, bro, Chainsaw Man was one of the most popular mangas without an anime at some point in time. I remember when the anime was announced, the hype was insane. Even people who didn't read the manga were hyped about it.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't sustain itself. I'm actually writing a video right now about the fall off of Chainsaw Man. I'm literally writing the video because it's such a wonder to me that like all of these new anime they come in so hot. Even JJK, when Gojo was fighting Sukuna, every month or week when the chapters were dropping, people were going crazy. After that fight ended, it was almost like the show had ended, bro.
Right.
I was shocked how the hype died so quickly, bro. Like, because I remember when the chapters were dropping, I used to see videos on YouTube, people just talking about the chapter. I was like, okay, this is hype.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the fight, it just died. I didn't even see people make that much videos when the show ended.
Imagine. Which makes you wonder, right? Was it all real or was it manufactured? Now we really have to ask that question. Was it manufactured?
Bro, and here we are still making videos about DBZ.
Playing DBZ games. There's a JJK video game, bro. Overpriced piece of trash. Nobody playing it. Nobody doing walkthroughs of it at all.
Oh man. And the crazy thing is that all these DBZ games have the stories we've seen a million times.
A million times, bro. It's nuts.
Oh man, that's crazy, bro. That's just insane. Now that I think about it, it's just crazy. Let me just read some more here. People resonated with anime because it didn't flush down your throat. Political beliefs, LGBTQ stuff in anime isn't like DC Marvel. Isn't like DC Marvel. Where it never ends. Superman dies, next chapter he's back. That's another thing I hated about Western comics, man. I never got into Western comics because they have like a billion different writers, different continuities. Like, oh my god, it is one of the most demoralizing aspects of Western comics. Now, I'm not saying they don't have great stories, because I've read Western comics with great stories and great art, right? Some of them have crazy art, right? It's just my commitment to them is non-existent. My commitment to the characters is non-existent also. Like, because I know, there's just one continuity. Once this writer finishes his run with the character, someone's gonna have his run. Someone's gonna have his run. And I always get surprised when people recommend comic books like, oh no man, you need to check out issue 74 from someone's run. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on.
Exactly. And a lot of people, like a lot of American comic people, like Mike Mignola, creator of Hellboy, when they start something new, they create miniseries, bro. They create miniseries, just like 3 issues or 6 issues, and that's literally just one volume. And they market the ish out of it as if it's something major, huge, so much hype around it, only for it to just fall apart so quickly and be forgettable, right? You end up just buying these things because of who the name that's attached to it. That's it.
Yeah, that is true. We only buy it because of who is behind it, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it.
Of course, it's bad because you're judging it not by the content of what's inside the book, but who wrote the book. They look at Stephen King. His name is always bigger than the title in all of his books. Oh, another Stephen King book. I've never seen this cover. What's it about? Then you see the name of the book underneath his name. It's unbelievable.
I mean, that's just marketing, bro. Even, I think that's everywhere. Even with Eminem, man, when he drops a new album, the name of the album is like literally small ass font. The big font is his name because people buy something with Eminem's name. That's just marketing, bro.
Yeah, so be it, but it's detrimental to people's perception of how to judge something good. You can't have a hit after a hit because Kishimoto came out with Samurai 8 and it was a disaster. Kubo came out with Burn the Witch. It makes no sense at all. And it got animated and everything. The characters are random and retarded. But everybody's glazing it. Oh, these characters are so hot. Oh, they're so cool. Why? Because Kubo made it? Like,
Yes.
it's trash. So,
Now I hear you. It jeopardizes the quality of the content, right? I understand. It basically goes against everything that you, Coffee, stand for because you are against selling, like, the creator instead of selling the product, right?
exactly.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I see it now. I see it now. And then Lux says, what even has all four mana ingredients in Shueisha right now? To be honest with you, I don't even know what Shueisha is publishing right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Damn, you don't
I
even
haven't
care,
been,
bro.
yeah, I haven't been reading current manga in a while. Every time I'm reading manga, I'm reading like a backlog. I don't know if a backlog is a correct term when talking about books, because I use it for games, like just games that came out a while ago that I haven't played. So when I'm reading manga now, I'm just reading something I should have read like years ago.
Yeah,
Like
so you know.
Gantz, basically. I never finished Gantz. That's what I'm trying to read right
It's
now.
over, bro. That lights out. You don't have to say anymore. You're just reading the classics. Game over. Like
Yeah,
honestly,
so
yeah,
yeah, I'm not even reading current stuff. Like, even if I had all the time in the world, I would just rather finish old mangas that I never finished, or mangas that I had never read that I wanted to read and never had time. But like from like ages ago, I was reading old ass stuff. I don't even know what's coming out right now, honestly. So
and you don't
that's
even
just
care.
me.
Now look,
Yeah.
Ichi the Witch, right? Is a manga for a bunch of fanboys. That's what it's for, bro. Like honestly, that manga I can't take it seriously, and I honestly believe everyone who glazes it is disingenuous. They're very disingenuous. It's got too much of this retarded Gen Z humor, low IQ garbage, like I don't know, like shit post type of things, you know. And I'm like,
Uh,
come on. There was a meme in last week's chapter. I only know this because I saw it on Twitter. It was trending. That so Ichi comes in. He's introduced to like a whole bunch of other witches, and this one female witch checks him out, and she immediately is like, "Oh snap! Yeah, I would definitely would." That
bruh.
that was it, bro. And people were going crazy like, "Oh, the writers are so excellent. Oh, she has good taste. Everybody would with Ichi." Like what? Why? That's not true. Just because they put some silly dilly flipping meme thing would. All of a sudden it has to trend and break records. No, man. Get out of here.
I hate stuff like that because it absolutely kills, like, what do they call it? I forgot the exact term for it, but I'm gonna try to explain it. It's like when you create something for a certain time period, and it just kills the longevity of the project. Because imagine recommending that to someone 30 years in the future, where the lingo that is being used now is non-existent 30 years into the future. And when someone reads that, they won't even understand what the hell they're saying because that's not how people talk 30 years from now, right?
Exactly.
So it just destroys the longevity of a product.
No, of course. But hey, these zombies like, yay! They talk like me. They are equally low IQ like I am, so I'm gonna share it with everybody. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very, I don't know. I hate stuff like that. Actually, now that I think, I just hate those things because imagine if Dostoevsky was putting Russian slang in Crime and Punishment. Like, I'm reading
For what?
Crime and Punishment in 2025. That thing was written in 18 something, man. And I still understand well, it's difficult to understand, but I still grasp, what he's saying. But that's not because he's using the lingo of 18th century Russia. It's because what he's saying is so dense, I had to think about it. So I feel like the art that is being produced now in this current era, it definitely won't last to the next.
It doesn't even last 2 years after it
Exactly.
ends.
Exactly.
So
I was about to say that. Yeah. Ryuga says, "Let Dragon Ball die." Yep, we agree. Black Swan says, "Japan still has a lot of good manga. It's just not promoted mainstream."
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doubting that they have good manga. I'm sure they have good manga. It's just that I don't think that's what we're arguing right now. We're not arguing if Japan has good manga.
Besides, the only way to find good manga is if you speak Japanese and are in Japan at this point. Your best bet to find good manga would be at Comic Ket, right? Where the indie Japanese doujinshi guys are producing their stuff, selling their stuff there. They make more money there anyway, right? So the
Yeah.
companies are not going to really sell or take risks on other manga, new manga, or even cool manga that is applicable to this generation in a positive way. They're not going to take the risk because BlackRock says, no, look, you're going to create the slop. We're going to force behavior. We need the world to be a bunch of goyums running around. So what can the companies do? They have to reject those who actually have something very meaningful and important to say. A bunch of these Japanese publishing houses have sub-publishers that are just too much, bro. Like Shueisha alone has so many sub magazines that is uncountable. So,
Yeah, I mean that is true. I once saw someone talk about how I know once I start talking about this, you're not gonna understand how I'm gonna tie it into what we're actually talking about, but I'm gonna tie it. He was talking about how we don't actually need adaptations of anything. Like if a book is a book, we don't need a movie adaptation. If a game is a game, we don't need a TV show adaptation or a movie adaptation, right? He was saying about he was talking about how uh, uh, I don't want to say products because that makes it like I'm trying to sell something, but stories, right? If a story is made in a video game format, and I tell you about it, let me make an example. Let's say I'm trying to sell you, I'm telling you the story of, let me say, maybe Elden Ring, right? I'm telling you, oh, bro, Elden Ring is about these gods, and they're trying to rule the world, and there's this America, this and that, this and that, and you're like, oh man, that sounds pretty cool. I'm just gonna wait for the movie or something like that. Like, no, if you don't play video games, then you don't get that story. That's your choice. You know, just because you don't play video games doesn't mean that the story that is in the video game format needs to be adapted into a movie so that more people can watch it or experience it. No, that's not why art is created, basically. That's what he was talking about. He was talking about how the medium is not made to be adapted over multiple platforms just so it can reach a bigger audience. That kind of kills the art. And it basically ties into what you were talking about gatekeeping, right? And how if we gatekeep these things, they remain pure. I don't want to say pure because now I'm kind of we can make a case that I'm deifying it, but just, pure in the sense of integrity, in the sense of it's not getting vandalized or infected with the general consensus, as you like to say that you hate the general consensus. It becomes something that is core to a certain community, right? And that is a story that remains in its pure form. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
Now,
makes sense.
me trying to pin this back to manga and everything, right? In Japan, the people who go to Japan and they live in Japan and they start to learn Japan, like Japanese, I mean, and they start reading the Japanese only manga, bro, they experience peak that we have no idea. I've seen people go to manga cafes in Japan now that they know Japanese and have been living in Japan for years now, so they understand Japan. And they read stuff, and they're like, this stuff will never get animated because of the stuff used the doujinshi guys that you mentioned. when they just do like the weirder stuff that's only acceptable in Japan, that will never be in the mainstream because of like Western standards and stuff. We are not exposed to such greatness because we don't speak Japanese. Like you mentioned, like if you want a good Japanese manga, you need to learn Japanese and just go to Japan. So I wholeheartedly agree with you there. And I don't think that those pure Japanese manga should be translated or even adapted into anime. I think they should just remain in their pure form for people who know Japanese. They can just because we've seen how much butchery happens from adaptations, right?
Yeah, I agree with you there, bro. But the problem is, if Dragon Ball was not animated and shipped out, you and I would both be in jail right now, right? That's the real problem. I would have lost my mind and went killing niggas in the street because I had nothing to inspire me or show me a different trajectory in life. Be a hunchback rotting in a prison cell. You also would have tried to rob a bank and organize, jacking money from one of those money trucks, caught, jail. That's the problem,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. However, back in the day when we experienced anime, it was like a gated community, man. It wasn't like a mainstream thing.
No, but it was adapted. Because I'm arguing the part where if Dragon Ball stayed strictly Japanese and in Japan, we would be in prison. A bunch of dudes in America would be transgenders right now, wearing dresses and wearing heels, because they would never seen a real man power up, right? That's the problem.
The fatal J's of the world. I'm only mentioning his name because he's in the chat right now. I'm about to read his comment right now. No shade to Fatal J, but I'm just teasing, bro. Okay, let me read. Eunice responding to Locke saying Kakurabashi will be another pseudo JJK phenomenon, each of which is unpredictable. It will probably just be heavily popular only in Japan, just like Demon School. Okay, I haven't seen Demon School or Ichi the Witch, honestly. And then Ryuga says Bleach should also die. It's been 3 years since that Hell Arc one shot. I don't care. I can just feel Kubo did that so he can milk Bleach more. I don't think he should do the Hell Arc either. I think he just should stay a one shot,
Yeah, but at least though, the Hell Arc makes a lot of sense because people are shallow with Bleach. If you understand its existential view of reality through the Buddhist lens, you actually wouldn't be making fun of it. And you wouldn't be saying it should die. I actually would. I know that the ending would actually be rather sad and depressing if he does continue it. Because Ichigo would be the only one who can fix things. But it wouldn't be an ending anybody actually wants to see. It would be one of those things of like, it had to be that way, So.
I wanted to die, right? However, I remember one time, back in the day, like really after Bleach ended, right? I remember talking about Bleach with a friend of mine. I was basically telling him that when TT writes, he writes, well, I don't want to go into depth with it. I'm just going to summarize everything. When he started with the first arc in the Soul Society, he was basically writing about the Japanese people, right? Basically the samurais, because the Soul Societies, they wearing kimonos, they use swords and stuff, right? So it's basically Japanese culture. And then when the Arangars came, he took inspiration from like Spain and stuff, right? And then with the Sternritters, he took inspiration from Germans. And I was always intrigued by the idea of how he was going to incorporate Italians into the Hell Arc. Because I always had this conspiracy theory in my mind that was like, okay, he's going to get influence from Dante. It just lines up so perfectly. Hell, Dante's Inferno, and like all the inspirations he gets from like, all around the world, and the allegories and everything that he uses to write. I was so excited back in it. I was like, man, I'm telling you, the Hallock is gonna be Italians, and it's just gonna be fucking crazy, bro. But now, after seeing Boruto, after seeing all like what's happening with DBZ, I'm just like, yo, let's just end it, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're right when you look at it like that.
What? Where are you?
Where am I?
This guy left.
Oops, my bad. I'm making my tea, but I heard what you said.
Ah.
Yeah, I heard what you said.
Okay.
Now, I understand because most likely they would sabotage Google. That, nah, make it like Boruto, bro. And it's lights out.
Yeah. I'm just gonna read more. Fatal G says, Attack on Titans was the last epic level banger anime. Everything else now is lackluster. I totally agree with you, Fatal. That was actually the last current anime I watched. Attack on Titan.
Yeah. I think me
You
too.
know, what?
I think me too. Like, I just couldn't get into anything new after Attack on Titan ended. Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
It was like an end of an era somehow.
Yeah, we're entering a new age of normie garbage, bro. This catering to normies is going to bury society, but yeah, bro, it's really insane. You know, now that I think about it, after reading some more Nietzsche's book, right? He said there has been never again a civilization built like Rome. The civilization that we have today, what Europe brought to the rest of the world, this is not a civilization. A civilization has richness in culture and distinction in identity. I didn't see this fully before, but now I do, that Europe is standing on the ashes of what Rome left behind. They didn't actually continue and build upon what the Romans discovered. A lot of it was destroyed and buried thanks to the Catholics, right? And ever since then, it's been a pale imitation of what it was. Because look at the people who tried to restore Roman ideals through the Renaissance. They got sabotaged by the Catholic Church, right? They got sabotaged.
Yeah.
Martin Luther, he also sabotaged it. He left Germany, went to Rome, and he was angry that, wait, what? These people can have fun and build a civilization without praying? Oh, hell no. I'm going to make everybody feel guilty for prospering with their own two hands. And that kind of ruined a bit of the progress, ruined what the Renaissance should have been. After all, that means rebirth, right? The rebirth stage of the civilization of Rome was sabotage and buried. And then we had a cheap version of it that was then exported across the world. But if you think about it, this exportation of a cheap imitation of Rome demands that you destroy your own civilization. And this goes hand in hand with Japan. Japan was a civilization before it had to open them gates. The Japanese had their own philosophers already. They had their own worldviews, their poets, their writers, their artists and whatnot. This is what a civilization, when there's a hierarchy, a class system, a Plato's Republic type of system in that nation, then you have a proper civilization. But now, along came the dudes, opened the gates, threatened them, and they had to open to stay alive, but keeping it open meant dying, And now there's like nothing left. The Japanese they can't even draw from their own ideas anymore because they are all exhausted. right? They didn't have enough time to, they didn't have 1,000 or 2,000 years worth of literature and philosophers and whatever as Rome took from Greece, they didn't have that. So it's just sad that, damn, Japan as a civilization was sabotaged as well, and it tried to maintain itself, but only a cheap imitation of what it was. And that's why the philosopher Yukiya Mishima decided to stab himself, committing sunpaku, because he said, look, I will not live in a world that forces me to be inauthentic to my Japanese roots. This new constitution that America has given us, this means we are not Japanese anymore. And of course, nobody listened to him, and he gutted himself, right? But I sure as heck respect the guy, because he was that serious. He was willing to die to maintain, to make sure that keep the gates closed. Mr. Emperor, please reinstate your status as the god of the East. Do it. Well, the Emperor knew that I'm not a god, bro. Did you see the bomb that they dropped? Come on now. So, but that's the thing. He was willing to die, right? Those types of real life examples, real life people don't exist today. We only have cheap imitators of dudes of back then and stories of back then. It's sad.
Yeah. Hero says, I remember teasing a new Burn the Witch season, but he later stated in an interview that he's just done with the series law. He just doesn't feel for it anymore.
Yeah. It's useless.
Lux says, for real, sustainability has been their biggest weakness. Indeed, sir. New Dawn Horizon says, superhero comics have taken over Western comics. That's interesting. Coffee, do you know any comic book that isn't about superheroes?
Say that again?
Do you know any Western comic that's not about superheroes?
Well, there's The Walking Dead.
Okay.
But definitely the most popular are superheroes. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
That's the thing.
True. Yeah, guess this guy's right. And then Fatal J says, Coffee, the other dude that is talking to you, he from South Africa too?
Yeah, he's from the same jungle, bro.
Yeah. Ola says DPZ is what's keeping Japan's economy afloat. Yeah, man, that's true. Comic Book Muscle says, I see that a lot of creators that write in memes live. What? I see that a lot of creators that write in memes live on mostly internet-based too. So they're beginning to communicate like they're posting online. I've seen it in Marvel and DC Comics. This is a problem. It's almost like they're writing stories for one people. Like just one people, and people is internet people. That's just the only people that you're writing your story for, or adding jokes just so like one group of people can just laugh or have a chuckle at the very least. Like, it's just ridiculous.
It's just for basement dwellers, bro.
Yeah, it's a basement. And then LeMay says, should we have stuck with fan translations? I don't know. Fan translations are only for desperate people, and if there's no other way. Because fan translations can lead to mistranslations. But if you have no other way, then hey man, why not? Black Swan Story says, Pierce, what is your favorite seinen manga? That's tough, bro. That's tough. But you're gonna hate me because I'm just gonna give you generic answers. But those answers is the stuff that I like, man. Sometimes you just gotta keep it simple. You know, Monster. It's not number one, but it's definitely up there. Johan driving Tenma to the roof, making him have a full circle moment, bring him back to who he is. I love Monster. It's one of the best things I've ever experienced. Berserk. Like, I'm a huge Berserk guy. If you guys think Coffee's a Berserk guy, you have not had a conversation with me. I'm a huge Berserk guy. And then a Vagabond. That's my holy mecca right there. That's my top three. Vagabond, Berserk, Monster. I feel like those three seinen mangas are just everything a manga needs. Everything. Everything. Story, art, characters, character development, plot, themes, lessons. You can get it with those three. And if you want to add an anime, you can try Ergo Proxy. I love Ergo Proxy. It touches on themes of existentialism and genocide, you know, and it has a very unique take on the special chosen one character. A very unique take on it, you know. You should check that out if you're interested into like some seinen stuff. And then Yuno says, I wonder what Coffee thinks about JoJo. What do you think about JoJo, Coffee?
JoJo's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's hard to take serious, bro.
It is, oh man. But I like it because of that. Me personally, I like it because it's so difficult to take serious, bro. Like, oh, my hormone. Oh, did you see my hormone? The English stuff is so funny, bro.
I mean, aside from the dubbing or the translation, the overall aesthetics, it's like these big bulky men with makeup on. It looks like RuPaul's Drag Race, bro.
I think the ridiculousness of it is part of its charm, bro. Like,
I guess, but hey, I'm just not that type. I see a dude in makeup. Hey, man, what am I supposed to think?
It's extremely hard to get into, man. No one I know is into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Nobody I know is into it. I'm the only guy that's into it, and it's killing me, man. I want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. LeMay says Walking Dead. Yeah, that's right, my brother. Rookie Rock Solid. Such a cool name. How can it be over for Japan if it never began? Oh, deep questions. Deep questions. What do you mean it never began, bro? What do you mean? Elaborate. Use more words. And then JPZ says, look what happened to France. They should have kept the gates closed because they're completely liberated. France is an interesting case. What do you think about that, Coffee?
In what context?
Well, he's talking about how he's saying France should have not opened the gates.
For immigration or for what?
Immigration, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you see, we don't actually know what he's talking about, like immigration or manga. Because with the manga one, yeah, they didn't open the gates there at all. But if you're talking about immigration, well, yeah, of course. And we know why that they opened the gates over there. We know every reason why. So.
Fair point. Yeah, he says immigration. Yeah. Okay. God T says, it made me giggle. Japan. What do you mean? What made you giggle, bro? Rookie Rock Solid. What a cool name. Gotta stop saying that. AI could help with translating those hidden gems. Oh yeah, we live in a completely different era of AI now. I never even thought about that. AI is always it's never in my mind. Crazy cool, man. What do you think about using AI for translations, Coffee?
The thing is, you just don't know if it's accurate. Do you see? That's the real issue. So you might be thinking that, yeah, everything makes sense, but the AI is politically correct anyway, right?
Yeah, it can be influenced.
Exactly. It is, best believe. So they're going to censor a lot of things that are said in the original, and yeah.
And then Yuno says, Pierce, you gotta peep Blade of the Immortal. It's so damn good. I've actually read Blade of the Immortal. I don't know if I read it or seen it. It was such a long time ago. I experienced it when I was first getting into seinen stories. Like after Death Note, what else did I watched? Death Note, Psychopaths, Steins Gate, Blade of the Immortal. Like it was on that. I was on that trajectory. I was like, damn, so many good shit, and I was like very impressed with it. I remember just experiencing. I was like, damn, I need to own Blade of the Immortal, and I just never got to it. I gotta rewatch it. I gotta reread it. I'm not sure if it has if I watch the anime, because if I watch the anime now, I want to read it. If I read it, I want to watch the anime now. I always like to do that. If I read something before, I want to watch it the next time I experience it. If I watched it, now I want to read the manga. Oh, am I the only? Do you do that too, Coffee?
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, it's just such a nice way to experience these stories, man. And then Eureka says, I read Blood of the Immortal. It's awesome. The art is unique. It's drawn in pencil sometimes, and it's read left to right. Oh, it must be very easy to read for the Western folk. And Eureka says, JoJo is peak. Part 1 is generic. After that, it gets way better. That's what every JoJo fan says. Like, after part 1, it just gets way better.
Yeah, like, who has the patience for that, you know? Like, bro, this ain't 1994, man. Like, I ain't gonna, walk through part 1 and wait for something better. No, if you suck day 1, I'm leaving. So, nah.
I'll leave it. Alright. And then, McJournal says, the goal should be to inspire the lowest common denominators to rise up to greatness, rather than dumbing things down for the majority of society to mindlessly consume. Using AI to do your translations might or might not work, but you could also rise up and put in the work and learn the language yourself. That could take years, bro. I hear what you're saying. You're actually right on both points, man. I do think the goal was to inspire the lowest people to rise up, not to just feed the dumb people.
But at the same time, now that I know better, everybody who has the potential to rise up, there's a genetic component attached to it. Most hunchbacks are genetically hunchbacks, bro. Their grandfathers and great-grandfathers were always the scum of the earth, You can't inspire everybody. You can put everybody in one classroom, make everybody watch the same movie. And then out of 100 people, maybe 1 or 2 comes out of there feeling brand new and ready to take on the world, and the others be like, what's for dinner? Oh, you see. So it's tragic. But he's right in terms of you should not cater to the lowest denominator. Definitely not. But don't be shocked when, in general, your stuff doesn't inspire many people. We are a rare case. Being an artist, you're rare because you are able to reflect on society and comment on it and serve as a mirror. So that means you are able to reflect. That ability is actually unique. Most humans just can't do that, clearly.
Yeah, sure. Rookie says, was there ever a civilization that collapsed due to low birth rates? Or are low birth rates a problem because the system needs human batteries to sustain itself?
Yeah, pretty much both. Greece, this is a state of decadence. When every society reaches the pinnacle, things like this happens. Low birth rates, and lower birth rates means, well, the government be like, oh no, we need to open the gates because our workforce is diminishing. Also, like, why are most people choosing not to have them kids? Because it's too expensive. right? The industries be like, no, just ship everything to China, to Indian sweatshop. We ain't gonna pay you everything plus medical aid. Screw y'all. Just bring the Mexicans and the Indians over here, or just take it over there, and we good. So
Well, in the video with Albert and Priest, they mentioned something very interesting. They said that you would think that people don't want to have kids because of money. However,
yeah.
they said something that you like to say, Coffee, about how we live in a very individualistic kind of society
Yeah.
where everyone wants to choose themselves. They don't want to choose anything either than themselves. So even if people had the money, they don't want to spend the money on family or whatever. They would rather go on a yacht, travel the world, blow the money on themselves, right? So I don't know if it's about expenses and stuff. I
But
mean, I actually became very introspective after hearing it because I was like, if I always tell myself that I don't want kids, right? Because of multiple reasons. One of the reasons is basically Zeke's philosophy that the best thing you can do for your kids is just never bring them into this world. That's why Zeke is like my favorite Attack on Titan character. I love that philosophy. However, another reason would be that, like, I am a naturally selfish person, and I do want to do all that stuff. Like, I want to create as much as I can, and I feel like having a kid would hinder that. Because I don't want to be the type of father that's always working, always doing that type of stuff. So, I don't know, man. I think it's a lot more than money sometimes. I don't think money is like the only it's a big factor for sure. I mean, another thing I'm not having a kid is because I'm fucking poor and I'm living in a horrible country. That's another thing. But money isn't the only thing. Just want to put that out there.
yeah, well, Alba and Preach are always shallow dudes who cater to normies who think they're intelligent, those who believe some pseudo form of any particular thought, right? So it's not really a money thing, and I wouldn't say you're selfish for not wanting to have kids. You're just logical, bro. It's just logic. You're poor, you're in the jungle, taxi driver in your front gate, right? And the future just looks grim. Logically speaking, right? You're gonna be like, no, this doesn't make any sense. I need to take responsibility if I bring a child here. You are exercising forethought versus normies who just, yeah, let me go to the bar, go in to this chick and get her pregnant and move on with my life. And the chick doesn't care because she'll just go to the government, get a social grant for the kid, even though it's not that much. But at least she can take half of that money to go buy a new wig, right? So that is a hunchback who does not exercise forethought, who doesn't have any sense of responsibility. So at the end of the day, it's not primarily because we are in a hyper, because there's a difference, individual society and hyper-individual society. The hyper-individualists, these are people who can't even work with other people. These are people who are your friend or business partner who stab you in the back after like 3 months or they've gotten something out of you. But being an individual is the best thing. To sacrifice yourself for your country or your family, what good is that? Actually, when your reward is your grave. No, right? I don't think so. And let's not forget that the rewards for being responsible for your family, wife, and kids are not the same. At any moment, she can call the police and say you hit her, but she hit herself. You go under the jail for 6 years. The kids are gone. They hate you now. Like, really? The stakes are against every logical man is an enemy of the state, right? So if dudes get a big bag, they're like, best believe I'm not going to take the risk getting hitched and she take half my ish and then take all the kids. No, it's because the reward for sacrificing yourself for the collective isn't worth it anymore. When you're constantly disrespected by the TV, the state, and the person you're with, low key watching TikTok videos, convincing her that you're the problem. Come on, man. There's no way you're gonna feel safe with that. You know?
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, the chat now is just people trying to convince you to watch JoJo, except Ryuga when he says it's not like One Piece. I mean, oh, okay, he's still talking about JoJo. Yeah, they're trying to get you to watch JoJo, bro.
Oh, guys, I'm not watching that, bro. I already tried. Trust me. I just couldn't get into it. Like, I just could not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there is. I don't know. I want to say there is a limit to how susceptible your mind is to experiencing new things. And I feel like we are just burned out because of all the trash that is coming out today.
Exactly. We're burned out, bro. That's why I said, like, I don't have the capacity for new things anymore. I can recognize something good, like the Devouring Whale Chinese anime, right? But I don't have the capacity to absorb it in its entirety, to forge a new relationship. That's like, you can only have so many friends, so many partners in anything, in something. You can't have like hundreds and hundreds of relationships, bro. You just can't.
Yeah,
but it goes to show that a lot of people, they don't think like how I just said what I said. They don't think this way. They're not trying to establish a connection. They're trying to only get something from you, get something from the anime. That's the real issue here. Is that you're not here, you're not there because you want to be there. You're there because there's something you can take. You're there, and never here because you hate it here. You can't just be fine where you are, right? Because you're flipping empty. You always gotta take over there and over there and over there. Man, it's ridiculous.
I mean, you always talk about environment, so I feel like that is a key indicator of the kind of society we're in. Consumer-based society, man.
Yes.
Consuming things just to consume.
What happens when you eat everything, bro? Once you've eaten everything, then what? Because you see right now, all the slop that's being given to us is because all the real food has been eaten. And now people are getting sick from the slop that's being dished out. But they still eating it. Like, nom nom nom, bleh, you know, vomiting all over the place. Oh, this is icky. Nom nom nom. They still eating, bro. It's like, dude, stop it. No, I'm hungry. You just ate 4 plates. Nah, nigga. You know? Come on, bro.
Dude, if someone can scroll on TikTok the whole day, they can eat the whole day because the brain is getting trained that, oh, bro, we are nothing if not dopamine, bro. Dopamine. Now. Obviously, we live in a society that's eating till they die, bro. The brain is just juiced up, man.
Yo, that is frightening, bro. Dudes out here drugged out and they feel good that they're not a dope head, but it's like, yes, you are, bro. Just because you ain't smoking real crack ain't mean you're not receiving the same effects of crack with what you are eating on social media, you know?
Man, I feel so guilty, bro. When I eat too much, like I will have a plate of food and I will sense myself desiring more. And I will feel disgusted with myself. I haven't even consumed what I'm desiring, but I just feel gluttonous, man. Like, just because of the thoughts I have, like, I want another burger. Like, no, nigga, stop being fucking gluttonous.
Yeah, but now you ask yourself, why? Why is it that one burger just ain't enough, bro? Why do you have to, like, gorge yourself?
It's because the burger's empty, man. It has nothing to sustain me.
Yeah, though it does fill your stomach in a way, and still you don't feel that sense of satisfaction. That's the
Yeah.
real issue. That's the real issue. I used to
This.
eat till my stomach hurt, like in 2022, 2021. Used to gorge myself on them cookies. When I tell people stop eating milk and cookies, I was eating milk and cookies, bro, daily. I would go to the supermarket and buy all kinds of scones and biscuits and muffins and drink that milk, bro, right? And I gained 4,000 pounds at that time, right? I'm extrapolating from reality. You don't want to be me back then. And I did that because I was in great distress. Everything was not satisfying me except when I ate so many cookies, right? At 5 o'clock, it was cookie time, bro. 5 p.m., it was time to gorge myself, right? I would even fast a little bit to make more room for all them cookies, man, right? And that happened because I was so dissatisfied with my life at the time. The only sense of satisfaction was having a sugar rush and pain in my belly that I had all these cookies, bro. Just, it's just sad. But got rid of
It
it.
is sad, man. It is sad. That's basically what everyone's going through right now. No one is satisfied with anything. The only thing that's remotely satisfying is something that can't even sustain us. And that is by design, so that we keep consuming it.
It's flipping evil, bro.
It's evil,
But
man.
you see, all these coping mechanisms that people have, like a lot of people with their doomsday coping mechanism. Well, the world is going to end, and yada yada yada, bruh. The world ain't ending. Should have ended in 2020, but sorry to break it to you. But honestly, I was one of the doomsday people. I wanted it to end. But then when I saw other people who had a more a deeper desire than me for the world to truly implode, especially older people in their 50s, how they would always look to the sky that finally a meteor or finally the second coming's on the way or the rapture's about to. I was one of those people, right? But when I saw them be more extreme than I was, it really forced me to look at myself that, wait, do I really act like these people? These people, even false news, they run with it and sensationalize it and justify why a bomb's about to go off. And I'm like, no, this is actually toxic. This is not how we're supposed to live, surely. What is this desire some human beings have for doom? Why do you want things to end? It's because your life sucks. That's why. It's because you have no control over your life. That was me, right? I don't have full control even now, but I don't care anymore. Barely anyone does unless you're Bill Gates or the Rothschilds. So when I realized that, hey, it's normal. It's actually normal to not have full control because most humans, since the beginning, have never had full control of their lives. We are the best humans right now in terms of little freedoms. Our cage is much bigger than the cages other humans lived under hundreds and hundreds of years ago. We have bigger cages to play in. We got our PlayStation over here. We got the milk and cookies and whatnot, right? But I'm not going to rattle my cage anymore, really. To like, get me out of here. And by get me out of here, I mean drop a bomb on me. No, right? What I can do is that, you know what? I can maybe increase my cage, right? I can make it more nice. I can go see other prisoners across the prison camp. Like, hey, what's up, Pierce? What you had for lunch? Oh, peanut butter. Hey, we can do something. I mentioned in a previous live stream, Yuri Boyka of Undisputed. You remember?
Yeah, I am the next level.
I am the next stage, bro.
I'm the next stage, yeah.
Exactly, bro. This is a guy gifted in fighting, and he has ambition and a dream to fulfill inside a cage. And he self-actualized in a cage, a Russian, cold, dingy cage. And we have bigger cages that have a heater in there, that have a drawing tablet, that have a desk, right? The power comes on here and there. Boyka was in a dungeon, forget a cage, legit dungeon, underground, compared to us, right? So, those who want the world to end, bro, your desire for the world to end exposes how much you hate your life. It would be much easier if it does. It would be much easier if the Antichrist just rises up now and cuts all our heads off, right? It would be easier, but that's too easy, right? It's too easy. It's not going to happen. You gotta fortify your cage and get to work and stop waiting for somebody to open that cage for you. It's never going to open, bro. You can just increase it, but forget opening it. What do you think about that?
There's this panel in Berserk where Bleach, no, I'm saying Bleach, bruh. There's this panel in Berserk where Guts, I think, is talking to Farnese, and Farnese is just experiencing the darkness of the world for the first time, because she's like a posh-ass knight, and she's never experienced the darkness that lives in the world. And Guts is just looking at her, and he's like, nobody's coming to save you, bro. Like, you gotta pick up the sword and fight for yourself. Everything you just said just made me think of that panel right now.
Mm-hmm. Remember the knights, not knights, the children of whatever arc where Guts had to fight that giant fairy creature?
Yeah.
And how the friend of the fairy creature wanted Guts to take her away from her village. And she hated her village so much because nothing interesting ever happens. It's always the same old abusive hunchback rhetoric, day in and day out. And Guts said, look carefully at the shadows and look at my world. Look at the world you are trying to step into. Then she saw all the demons trying to eat Guts, right? And he said, yeah, everybody is in their own battlefield. In a way, you're not going to survive mine. Go back home and fight your own fight.
Bro. Oh, dude, Miura, bro, shit.
Dude was peak, man.
Oh, man, Berserk, bro. I could talk about Berserk for hours, man. Oh, man. Shit, now I gotta reread it, bro. You see, this is what I'm talking about. I'd rather just reread Berserk rather than read,
exactly, JJK.
Kakurabachi, whatever's popping right now.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Oh, man, so many gems, man. Damn. Okay, let me read some comments here. They say, I kind of feel the same way about video games these days. Watched Gamescom yesterday, and it made me feel like this isn't a hobby I want to even participate in anymore. Bro, I feel the exact same way. I was thinking about it today because I was writing a script for the new Black Myth game, and I was like, why am I even writing this, bro? I feel exactly how you feel, Coffee. Like, you feel like you already consumed enough things. Yeah. Like, your brain is full. Nothing else can come in. It's just, I'm enough with what I have. I'm satisfied. Mm-hmm. You know? I feel the same with a lot of things, man. Like, games as well. I feel like, I was actually arguing like a heated battle with someone pretty recently about video games, because I hate how older gamers will tell you that, yeah, man, gaming peaked in like the late 90s or the early 2000s. I always hate those takes because I feel like gaming, in terms of graphical fidelity, technical aspects, peaked now. We're living in the best times of gaming right now. Like, we have so many games, it's too much. And People are always complaining. Yeah, you'll get the big AAA studios making games about feminism or whatever's agenda they're trying to push right now. But those are people who have so much money that all they do is play the latest game. Right? Oh, the new game came out. I'm playing. That's the game I'm playing right now. The average gamer has a ridiculously long backlog, and they're always catching up to games, man. And I feel like they're so spoiled right now. Even I feel spoiled. But I am at a burnout right now. Just not from playing video games or like watching stuff, just from a burnout of consumption, man.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just tired of consuming things. And these Comic Cons, Games Cons, where they're like announcing new stuff. I haven't even finished stuff from this year, man, and you're already announcing new stuff. Like, bro, calm down. Like, so the gaming industry is just toxic as hell lately. So I understand what this man is saying, right? It's just, it's a hobby it doesn't feel like a hobby anymore. The other day I saw like, this is for you specifically, Coffee, because you're South African. I saw Casper Bro playing Call of Duty on TikTok. I was like, why?
Wait, you saw who?
Casper Bro.
Casper Njomvest. Oh,
I'm telling
man.
you, bro. He's playing Call of Duty on TikTok. I'm like, why? Like,
that's
dude,
weird. It's like, bro, dudes in the township ain't got electricity right now. So, who you catering to playing Call of Duty right now, bruh?
Like, what's going on? I have so many problems with that image, man. Like, okay, like, why are you competing with streamers, bro? You're already a worldwide artist. You're already a millionaire. What are you doing playing, like, streaming Call of Duty? Like, even if it's a hobby, right? Why are you streaming it, bro? Like, what's going on right now? Why are streamers and the public competing with celebrities, man? Like, I don't understand.
I think obviously it's because the games themselves are boring now and people are burnt out. So now you consume famous people playing boring games. So yeah.
Hey, that shit's hilarious, bro.
That's just nuts, bro. Like, Casper, dude, the middle class is dwindling in this country. Ain't no electricity. Niggas can't afford a PS5, bro. Let alone fiber internet. So it's like, what are you doing, Casper? You know?
Bro, that is. Anyway, man, let me read. Yoshi Hiroda says, we do live in interestingly peak times. From being priced out of your hobbies. Yeah.
Hey.
Games are so expensive, bro. I remember having a discussion with someone on Reddit. They were talking about how prices in America and like first world countries, like they don't understand what we in third world countries mean when we say games are expensive. Because the minimum wage over there is so much higher than the minimum wage here. Like the minimum wage here is like 4K or something, and games are like 1.7 now, bro. That's like a third of your salary, my guy.
Yeah.
Like you can't afford your hobby anymore. I don't know. Go plant some veggies. Find a new hobby, bro. You're being zoned out of this one.
It's insane, bro. Like honestly, being priced out of your hobby so that you can just. But wait. You know the funny thing is, being priced out of your hobby. How come these dudes ain't getting priced out of that liquor bottle? Cause that bottle going up in price, bro. Like Castle Lager was like 15 rand, 16 rand in 2020, and now it's like 27 rand. 30 rand for a bottle of liquor. But dudes are still buying it.
Priorities, bro. It's up to priorities. Me, as a gamer, knows that, like, gaming is a luxury. I don't need gaming to survive. I just need it to cope, right? But people who drink, they drink for survival. They're not drinking to cope. Coping is long past. They're not in that phase anymore. It's their
Damn.
livelihood, bro. It's a
Yeah.
necessity for them. They're not
It's
even
their
looking at the
water.
price at
Yeah.
this point. It's their water, bro.
Yeah.
For me and you and this guy, McJonale. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. You have a great take. I don't mean to dismiss your name like that. But even him, we have an understanding that I love this game, but it's expensive and I'm not buying it. I can't afford it, bro. Even though I want it. It's out of my price range. You're pricing me out right now. I can recognize that, right? But for the alcohol, bro, that's the water, bro.
Oh, they want
That's
us
the
all
water.
to just start drinking liquor as it's a bottle of water, bro. But hey,
Basically, bro.
luckily for some of us who are nice and simple, we got our classic games right here, bro. I don't need none of that new stuff anymore. I tried to play Street Fighter 6 the other day and on my Xbox Series X, and it says, "Oh, you need to update the game, 70 gigs." I'm like, "What the hell? 70 gigs to update the game? Are you kidding me?" That just turned me off, and I just switched off the console, bro. I'm like, "Nah, man. This is the problem with modern games. They force you to update, and then the update takes forever, and you just forced to just surrender."
Dude, I hate modern games because of that one thing. That's why I just play story games, man. Like, I play no game that needs internet connection. The moment they say you need to be online to play this game, I zone out. That one's not for me. They're kicking me out. They don't want me there, and they know it. That's exactly how I take it. Immediately when it says it needs on, that's why I just play Souls-like games, man. Action adventure games from the old. That's literally all I play.
Yeah, same here. I just play this game and other drama
Yeah.
games.
And awesome, bro. I'm just like, yeah. And now they're doing this new thing where every game it needs an online connection. And when you're buying the game, you're not even buying
The full, yeah, the full
yeah,
game. You gotta download the rest
yeah,
of it.
yeah. Like it's so disgusting, man. And some of these games come out broken. And I remember back in the day, prices of video games used to be like because of production costs and whatnot, CDs and stuff. Now you don't even need CDs, but the price keeps going up, and people are pre-ordering games like they're gonna run out. Bro, it's digital. What do you mean? Like, so many problems right now with online gaming. And I'm literally saying it's online gaming because that is the gaming industry right now. It's not a gaming industry anymore. It's an online gaming industry now. No CDs anymore. Even if you buy the physical copy, which is rare nowadays, in that fucking box, there's nothing in there. It's just a code that you need to input, and you just download it anyway.
Oh yeah, they totally scamming us, pricing us out. You see, wouldn't it be nice if Asmongold, Synthetic Man, all these game streamers, actually put all that money that they've made, millions of dollars, into funding indie creators, video games, and just create a new network, a new pipeline of, games that are not big budget per se, but just fun. No, they don't do that.
I don't think they would do that. I don't think those big gaming influencers, like, I don't think they're trustworthy. Let me say that. They can be bought by these companies. Like, if you depend on those people for reviews and stuff, you need to look for other people, because those guys can be bought. They're not genuine. Most of their opinions are like fake, I've noticed that with even people who review movies and shows and stuff, like, most of them get bought. And you would think that the people you used to watch from back in the day when they had no subscribers, now you got like 10 million subscribers, and they're telling you everything is good, bro. Like, yeah, this new Fantastic Four movie is fire. This new Superman movie is fire. This new thing is fire. Everything is fire, bro. Like, what?
Yeah.
Man. So I don't trust those people. I don't trust the quote-unquote influencer geeks or influencer nerds that say they know these things. Nah, I don't trust them, man. I don't even trust them to make a video game. I don't trust them to make a show. I don't even trust them to make a comic.
So you can only trust like grassroots people like myself, but it's like I don't have the budget to, fund a huge operation. That's the sad part, really.
Yeah. Let me just read more comments here. Um, we do live. Yeah. I read this. Agendas. Yeah. I swear. I swear they be saying the world is ending all the time since 2011 or something. Like when
Bro,
Christians say the gospel will spread everywhere first, but what about that one tribe secluded from humanity?
nah, that's the
Bruh.
thing, bro. I know all about that. It's like it has spread to the known world, but above all else, it's not actually meant to be because in Revelation there would be an angel flying across the world preaching the gospel. So I don't know why they always neglect that part. It's like, guys, you can't go across the entire world. I mean, by now I'm sure everybody's covered every inch of the world. But in general, the angel was going to do it. It was going to fulfill that last part, that one tribe that didn't hear about it. So, no, it's
Saito. Saito says, I think the saddest part about Japan dying off is not just the storytelling, but we'll never get that uniqueness that you see in anime, particularly in animation. I don't know. I don't care how hard others try to replicate the anime techniques. Nothing can beat the Japanese.
yeah, especially 80s and 90s anime. Cause I did,
Uh,
I went back too, bro. I went to the vault. I'm like, all right, what the heck is cooking in the 90s? Got some good stuff, man. You know,
bro,
like I watch
so
one episode a
genuine,
week,
man.
sure, but still, it's way better than the garbage right now.
Man, man. The old school art is just so majestic, man. Have you ever seen Vampire D?
Exactly. I know
Oh my god, that animation looks so. If you watch that in like 1080 Blu-ray right now, my guy,
it.
miles ahead of anything I've seen
Nothing
today.
like that will ever come out ever again, bro. And that's the scariest part. Notice that, like the Renaissance artists, bro, there was never again another Michelangelo, man.
True,
Never.
bro. Yeah,
It's insane to
just
me
doesn't happen.
that what we cannot recreate geniuses. There was never again a Beethoven. Yes, there are really great composers out here, but not at that level. You
Dude.
see.
It's just not the same, man. Environment, bro. Environment. Luck says Berserk is so tough, bro. Recently started reading it. Flame emoji. Flame emoji. Flame emoji.
Do you
Welcome to the
see?
tribe, bro.
Do you see how people who are not normie minded, they cannot stand the trash that the normies celebrate. Luck just jumped into Berserk right now. He's had his fill of the shonen, right? And he's sick and tired of garbage right now. Dude goes back to the vault. What do we have? All right, time to pick up Berserk. And he's having a good
Yeah.
time. So, it just isn't enough people like us who actually know quality.
Yeah. But I guess we can be happy that, like, we have the quality. I mean, every time I read Vagabond, like, as much as Inoue takes a lot of hiatuses and stuff, and he's probably never going to finish the manga, even though he's still alive, like, he's just not into it right now. He said it himself. He's like, I'm just not feeling like drawing Vagabond anymore. But the stuff that we already have is already so much gold, bro. Like, it's so much gold. I feel the same way with Berserk. Like, I don't need Berserk to be finished
Yeah,
for me to enjoy Berserk.
true.
I enjoy Berserk just fine as it is. And that last chapter that Miura drew, and the last page is just Griffith looking back with the tear. My God! Oh no! Like, let's not make this stream a Berserk stream, bro. Let me just read the comments, bro. Because it seems like we just keep going to Berserk. JVZ's like, I'm looking forward to the games China is making now. Hey man, you tell us how they are, bro. I think Black Myth Wukong was the last one for me. Maybe Phantom Blade is gonna be my last. Phantom Blade looks fucking insane. My God. But yeah, I'm not excited about anything moving forward. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me neither,
Movies,
bro.
shows.
Games, I don't
just
care.
get so bored. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I miss the excitement I used to have back in the day for new things.
Because it was new. It was new. Because after all, Black Myth Wukong is like a high-paced action Souls-like, right? It's just it's just a carbon copy of something in a way with new elements.
Yeah.
So it's not really new. We're not experiencing new things. Everyone actually complaining that everything sucks because it's new. Like, mother effer, you can't make something new. What you need is 2 nuclear bombs to go off, and then every mediocre thing will feel new because the survivors would have never seen it before, right? That's actually how things work. You can't always create something new. It's impossible, right?
Yeah, that is true. I think Tarantino once said that, like, chasing originality and stuff. If you're chasing originality, you'll never create anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it is sad, man. But what can you do? Says $600 for one console is insane. Pure lucks for the fortune.
Bruh, they increased the prices of all the consoles.
PS5
PS5 is 5 years old and the prices went up. My Xbox, the price of Xbox, it went up. Games, ancient games, prices went up. It's like, what are y'all doing? You're trying to make us subscribe. I'm sure you've seen it at let's say you go to a electronic stores like Incredible Connections. They're offering you contracts that buy this PS5 on credit and pay, let's say, 300 Rand for 4-6 years straight.
Dude.
Every month.
By the end, it's like 25,000 or something.
Exactly. Like 2 times more than the original price.
Nah, bro. They're making me, like, get into the Black Pearl with Jack Sparrow, bro. I don't know. Jack Sparrow and the Black Pearl looking mighty fine right now.
Yeah, we gotta get on, bro.
I'm getting on, bro. Like, I've been on that boat, actually. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I'm not buying games. I'm just playing, man.
Yeah, hell no, bro.
Shit's expensive, bro. And then he's like, then you have to buy the controller, games, charger, etc., etc. One game is 60 euros. Hell, some 70.
It's like getting a new phone, bro. You get in the box is a phone, no charger, no earphones, nothing, bro. Like, you gotta buy everything separately. Get out of here.
Oh my God. Jeez, that's crazy.
Imagine they sell you a cheeseburger. You gotta go buy the cheese yourself, bro.
We're headed towards that. That's the future, bro.
Damn, you're right.
I heard someone make this. There's this new meme that's going around, bro. It's like when the genie comes and he gives me 3 wishes, right? The first wish I make is to make everyone blind, except besides me. Everyone besides me is blind. That's my first wish. The genie is like, okay, a bit evil, but okay. And then the second wish is like, I make everybody gain the sight back, but they have to pay me a monthly subscription, bro. What?
Damn.
Dude.
Yeah, that is.
And then the genie's like, dude, you could have just wished for money, bro. That's what the companies are doing to us, bro. They're milking us right now with these subscriptions and all these other stuff. At first, it looks like we're paying for convenience, but we're not, man. We're not paying for it. They are milking us in the long run.
In the forever, bro. You'll own nothing and be happy type thing.
Dude, It's insane. Like everything is becoming a subscription. Even games, like with Game Pass and stuff, everything is becoming a subscription, man.
And your refrigerator. Like, but then
Yeah,
again, those who have a Wi-Fi connected refrigerator, that's on you, bro. What the hell are you thinking? Like, come on.
dude. Do you watch Black Mirror?
Nah, not anymore.
Bro, there's this episode of Black Mirror that's like one of the new seasons. There's this woman, right? She gets into an accident and she gets like a tumor, right? Like a cancer. And then the hospital say like there's nothing they can do. She's gonna die. And then there's this new company that comes up and they're like, yo, we can save her and give her like kind of like a cloud-based brain. We're basically gonna cut out the piece of the brain that has the tumor, and we're gonna replace it with a cloud brain, and it's gonna work. But you just have to pay a subscription, bro.
Ah, hell no, bro.
I'm telling you, and like it becomes so like horrendous throughout the episode because once he subscribes to it, they keep increasing the money, bro. The subscription, the tier, and every time they make a new tier, the tier he's in, like the wife is in, has ads. So because her brain is connected to the cloud, she just says ads. She basically switches off and she becomes a commercial. Like, oh, you should buy like whatever, coffee or something. And the husband is like, what the fuck is going on? And then when they go to the doctor, they're like, oh, you're in the tier with ads. You should upgrade.
Oh my goodness, that is terrifying, bro.
Dude, it is insane. And then they have like these sections where if you're on this tier, she can only travel between like this area because our cell phone towers are still developing nationwide, so you can't really travel with her unless you get this particular high tier, the Coffee Ultimate. If you're on Coffee Ultimate, you can travel anywhere, bro.
Oh, damn, these dudes are corrupting my tier, bro. Damn. That is nuts. And it's gonna happen. It's
gonna happen, bro. It's
yo,
scary, man. Oh my god. It's so, when I was watching that episode, I was like, this is so scary.
well, luckily, if you are in the jungle like us, and people's minimum wage here, as you know, is $4,000. A lot of people can't subscribe to any of that ish, bro. You know, so everybody in the first world country, yeah, you're gonna be stuck on Coffee Ultimate times a trillion. Every single day, they have to tell you to subscribe at a higher tier. But here, not so much, but we're screwed in our own way. So,
Yeah. And then let me just read some of these. And you can only download it if the server still runs. And that's another fucking thing, bro. These games have expiration dates now.
yeah, that's like serious BS, bro. Did they like Street Fighter 5 on Steam? Because I still play Street Fighter 5 on Steam. Capcom says, oh, server went off. They're gonna delist it and they're gonna shut it down and you can't play it anymore. Ah, man, I'm gonna lose my mind, bro. No refund.
No refund. He basically paid for just loaning the game for a few years.
Oh, dude. It's nuts. This is why I still have my PlayStation 2. It's 21 years old, right? I still have my PS3. I still have my PSP, right? These consoles still work, and them games there are OG. So when they start to be like, you know what, we're gonna brick your new Xbox because you didn't pay your subscription. We won't brick your Steam account because you didn't pay your subscription. Fine. I got my 20-year-old console. Eventually it'll break too, but well, I still have my PSP. It's also 20 years old, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just roll dice if everything breaks.
Bruh. Let me just read this. I saw a clip of the Superman 2025 speech. Superman was crying and whining to Lex that he was human.
Imagine.
Surely one of the moments of all time. Deserves 10 Oscar nominations.
That is total like squeezy, cheesy, lame-o Superman man-child level, bro. And people,
Bruh.
I saw it on Twitter, and people are, oh, this is perfect. He's so human, but he's not human.
Exactly.
You squeegees, you weaklings. Oh man.
Bro, must you see a weak man before you can admire and respect him?
I mean,
Must he be
actually,
weak?
it's clear as day that's the case, right? They don't want to see no assertive, masculine man because he's toxic. A guy to get a date these days, you gotta gesture mask, bro. Be a clown nigga, right? Gotta make her laugh and whatnot. You can't have that energy like you gonna whip out the belt, like the old school pops. If somebody's out of line, then you're toxic. You know, like, wait, I gotta be like Jack Black all the time? Be Kevin Hart? No, screw that.
Dude. So, and then they said, if reading manga was an RPG, normies would be level capped at like 10. People who read stuff like Berserk, Monster, Vagabond, etc. are level capped at like 100 plus.
That is a nice analogy. So accurate.
That's a great analogy. But there isn't enough out there to challenge us at these high levels. That's true, man. I guess we just gotta like appreciate what we have. You know, we gotta appreciate that we have the monsters, the vagabonds, and the berserks, man. It's just and the Gans.
But for
and
how
all
long,
these,
bro? For how long?
I don't. Until you create your own, bro. It just needs to sustain you till you create your own, man.
Yeah, I guess. When you put it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Luck says, I decided to check out Man of Steel and then watch Superman 2025 right after. And not gonna lie, it's already kind of overrated. Most of those scenes, like the speech, really aren't that hard. Maybe the public got my expectations high, but at least I agree with it being more Superman. Like, Man of Steel was just more mature and realistic, so I like it better. Both good though. One's for adults, the other is basically for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Man of Steel is miles better, bro. Like, miles better. Even, you can take away everything, just the visuals alone, man. I don't like the scene where he's flying and the camera is just his face and wind flap. Like,
Yeah.
you can say what you want about Zack Snyder, but the man's camera is just exceptional.
Yeah,
I
he's a
felt
visionary.
when Superman was taking that first flight and the rocks were like surrounding him and you can feel the atmosphere changing and it's like, my God, bro, that's a god right there. No man can do that.
We'll never want to get that again. Damn shame.
Rookie Rock Solid says, it's actually kind of tragic seeing kids with a Jack Black action figure. There's a Jack Black
hell
action
no.
figure?
Those
There's an
kids
action?
need to be thrown in a sewer, bro. Who the hell bought them a Jack Black? No, the parents should be thrown in the gutter. How are you gonna give your kid a fat man who's been fat for the past 15, not even 15, the past 30 years? A clown. An action figure of Jack Black? Oh, hell no. No way, bro.
That's crazy. I had no idea they had action figures for Jack Black. But the last two comments, Yoshi says, I was just in Japan. They're becoming more inundated with more and more Western American culture. It's actually kind of sad. And then Luck says, oh yeah, the camera angles in Superman 2025 were just goofy. Bro, tell me about it. For a movie way older, the CGI in Man of Steel was just better, straight up. That's what I'm saying, man. Zack Snyder's camera is just it's way, way far beyond James Gunn's camera. That whole close-up with it made me think of the Black Adam flight scenes where they just show the face and everything just is basically zooming to show movement. I'm like, no, man. I need the cape flapping. Okay, I need to see the motion of the air. I need to see how he's hovering above everyone. Because I always say, I was talking to my friend about the difference between Superman and Man of Steel. I say Superman. They're trying to give us like a humanistic point of view of like Superman, and I always say that Man of Steel was always a Kal-El story. It's not a Clark Kent story. It's a Kal-El and a Superman story. And then it was supposed to be an arc where he becomes Clark Kent over the movies that Zack Snyder was doing, right? The Justice League, Batman v Superman. And over time, he's supposed to become the hope that people know him as. He's not just born a hopeful man, you know. He's supposed to grow into it and mature and have character development. Whereas this one is like, where's my dog? And he's like, I'm a human.
Imagine, bro, dude's crashing out and he's apparently perfect.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a human, bro. Where's my dog? I'm like, ah.
Yeah, nah, you's a bitch, bro. And that's what the cousin, his drunken cousin, who probably just came from the Shebeen, chilling with 14 Tyrones, right, comes back saying, where's my dog, right? And calls Clark, who got his ass kicked for the whole movie, a bitch. Like, honestly, that is so demoralizing. I'm glad I didn't pay to go in there. I am glad. Like, the people who are going to go watch Supergirl next year are gooners, obviously. They just want to go see her fly while holding a liquor bottle. Like, come on.
Yeah, nah, man, nah. But yeah, those are all the comments, bro.
Okay, real quick with what the previous one said, that Japan is becoming more and more inundated with American culture. I see this behavior with the creator of Gachi Akuda in particular. It's not reflective in her work per se. It's just her as a person in these interviews that I've seen. She's just atrocious. She has this basement mindset, you know, this internet culture way of talking, even in Japanese, you know. And I'm like, ew, you're not a philosopher. You know, artists back then were philosophers, bro, right? They would just illustrate their thoughts using narrative techniques. But now it's just some like piece of trash person who knows how to draw and is out here having that doo-doo emoji as their profile picture, or it's all over their stuff, or they might get a teddy bear of it. Like, man, what's wrong with you?
Everything's a joke online. Nothing is serious.
And they are bringing it to reality, bro. You know?
I'm not. It's actually scary that internet is becoming
reality.
Something that's manifesting in reality. So there's a few comments. Exactly. No. Also, the standard color grading and the MCU-fication of the costumes were major giveaways. Yeah, it's very colorful. That's what they wanted, right? They wanted to watch cartoons on the big screen. I saw someone say that for people who like the Superman, it's basically people who wanted to see the cartoon.
But this did not do justice to the cartoon.
It's not, because the cartoon is like far better than the movie.
Yeah, I'd rather watch the Christopher Reeves Batman, Superman, the OG one, if you want the cartoon, right? Yeah. This crash out Superman, the dog, loser, the dog. Come on, bro.
Then Luck says, exactly. People did not understand Snyder's Superman. They're out here making edits of him making mistakes and destroying stuff, aura farming, like he didn't just become Superman.
I remember.
Guns had 3 years of experience. It's not even close. Yeah, bro, like the Guns Superman has 3 years of experience. The Man of Steel Superman is like a day in as Superman.
And he still does a better job in carrying himself.
Yeah. Like,
now, I remember there was a huge sabotage campaign against Man of Steel. And this was like a year after high school. I remember because they would throw taglines like, well, it's moderate success. They were undermining its success. What the hell is moderate success? You know? They kept undermining it, and at the time I really didn't understand why. But now I do. It's that Marxist garbage. It's because Man of Steel is that stoic Superman, the type of Superman that could have turned around dudes who were turning trans and retarded at the time back to the iron. But no, right? Because of this smear campaign that, oh, it was directed by the guy who made that crazy, what's that movie? Sucker Punch, where it's just a bunch of girls killing monsters and wearing high school uniforms. So that's why you're discrediting this movie? Screw y'all. So,
I mean, this new Superman movie just shows, well, it showed me how much people feel entitled to fictional things. Because every time I hear people say, "Oh, Man of Steel sucks," that's not my Superman. Like, everyone has ownership over, like, how Superman is supposed to be depicted. Like, no, that's not my Superman. My Superman isn't a brooding, stoic Superman. Like, as if Superman itself in the comics doesn't have a bunch of different writers. And it's not like he's one. Like, he has consistent attributes, but there's the Superman in the Death of Superman is not the same Superman in All-Star Superman. And, like, the entitlement and ownership of, like, entertainment these days is outrageous, bro.
we know why. Because these man babies cannot have a firm grip on their own lives, so they must have a grip on a fictional character or universe. And the logic that you present as to, dude, but in the comics it's got different writers. You're not saying anything about that.
Exactly. And the capacity to, like, the mental capacity to say that if something is not the way you like, it is wrong. If something is not how you think, it is not worthy, and it doesn't deserve to be given something is disqualified if it doesn't align with your own agendas. It's such a dumb mind state and a stupid mind state, to the fact where you are incapable of holding a conversation, let alone a discussion, just a conversation with anyone that doesn't have the same thoughts and beliefs as you. Like, you are so, I wouldn't even say narcissistic, because some narcissists have intelligence. You don't have the intelligence to even comprehend that someone else could have a different idea from your own understanding. So if someone makes a movie with a character that you think you own or feel entitled to a certain adaptation, that movie sucks just because it doesn't align with your ideals of that particular character. That is brain dead thinking right there.
That is hyper individuality at play. It's so hyper that their belief of who they are is the end all be all. This is my movie, this is my world, I'm Luke Skywalker. No, mother effer, you're just a piece of trash who thinks is important, you know? So, bro, it's just a damn shame. It is a damn shame. But, oh well, that's the thing. That's why I'm saying, gotta gatekeep, right? Japan's falling apart. It's doomed, bro. They never gonna close the gate. They can't afford to close the gate. You know, I'm doing my best here at the Coffee Network, closing the gates, putting all that hardcore sauce on that coffee ultimate. You know, but I have to do that because if I share everything, all the information Young Wavy has bled for, right? Just over here so these mongrels can come lick it up and spit it out and say, he's wrong. Like, nigga, you didn't even go where he went. You didn't even do 10% of the effort he put in, and you want to say, nah, I disagree. That's hyper individuality right there, hyper retardation at play, right? They don't deserve critical information that can change situation. They don't deserve it, right? Everybody who just likes to enjoy the vibes and the aura, it's like, okay, fine, but you ain't getting nothing. But too many are cool with that. It's like, yeah, man, we eating snacks, just listening to you right now. You like, okay, but you're gonna stay in that position, bro. You're gonna stay in that rocking chair and end up like Sean James. And then everybody who gonna go to that Patreon who's actually about that craft, they're gonna upgrade their little cage. And then 10 years from now, when your cage is smaller, right? And now you're feeling the tightness in your chest. I'm having a heart attack. I don't know what's going on. We're just gonna watch. I'm like, oh, another one bites the dust. They could have expanded, you know.
That Young Wavy interview is not for everybody. I think a lot of people won't understand it because it's such a logistical interview where he's giving you like stuff that only appeals to people who are like knee deep into the craft, bro. Like you need to be you need to have a level of seriousness, a level of commitment to understand or even receive what he's saying. Sometimes understanding comes later. You just need to be able to receive something. Let it come to you. A lot of people won't receive it because they're not in the mind state that Young Wavy's in, or even close to it. I mean, the man is possessed with the ambition of succeeding in one particular thing. I saw him say he's thinking career-wise. He said he's thinking 40 years, 50 years. No current comic book artist thinks like that. It's a hobby for most of these guys. It's something to push content. It's content for some of these guys. So a lot of people won't receive it, man. Like that doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Now, when you put it like that, absolutely right. Because he's that serious, others can feel ashamed that damn, I'm a fraud. You know,
Exactly.
this dude is thinking decades in the future, and I'm just out here trying to have a silly goose time. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, never gonna, cause he wasn't like even talking about anything. I think you've had one interviewer, not interviewer, but an interviewee with that guy who went to Japan, knocked on the doors of Shonen Jump. That one was like a very logistical interview, very like info dump. Like this is what you do. This is what happens when someone like in your position who's not Japanese goes there. Like if anyone has a dream of going to Shonen and knocking on the door, giving them a manuscript, this is what's likely to happen. Like those type of interviews are just not for the general, like, you know, the normies, people who just watch coffee comics just because it's their lunch break and they need some entertainment, or they hate watching. That's not for them, bro. That's not for the people who tune in to watch roasts or whatever is entertaining to them. Those type of interviews are for the creators, man. Like for people who have a product or who are working on the product, who know that they're working on the product, and they know that this is my livelihood. This is the difference between me being born and me not being born. That is something that Young Wavy and that guy are bringing to the table.
You're dead right, bro. You're dead right. So
So,
yeah, knowing that, it's again, it just shows. Yeah, close the gate. Close the gate. Because these dudes just will never get it. Oh well. Do we have any lost comments? Because it's almost 1 a.m. here.
Yeah, it is. We have let me see where, okay. Crystal Inc. says, finally I caught you on live. And then Yoshi says, yeah, Crystal in the house. You need sweets and candy in your superhero stories now. You didn't know? Yoshi, next time tell me the lie when he live, and then he says YouTube won't tell me. It didn't tell me either. I just got lucky, and then yeah, they keep talking about that. And then Yoshi says, "Young Wavy is the future. I will always support that man's efforts as much as I can." And Christy says, "Young Wavy drops gems, and no one in indie manga posted him. That's how I knew he was real." Yeah. Ambition is a rarity in America. Ambition isn't attractive enough, nor is it a hashtag that moves algorithms. You really need to have extreme foresight. Crystal. Oh, your name is Crystal? Bro, what have I been saying?
Yeah, it's 1 a.m., bruh, so they'll forgive you.
Hey, forgive me, bro. Forgive me. He says he'll allow it. Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you, Crystal Inc. Okay. What the fuck was I? Christy. I said Christy. Oh my god, bro. Anyway, Crystal. But yeah, that's the last one, bro.
Okay, well, y'all, now you know Japan's birth rates, the way that they are affecting the quality of Japan's works or not. If you missed that part, I guess you'll just rewatch it. But ultimately, it's all going to be up to us now to sustain ourselves even. And the classic, so long as if y'all are still relying on some websites to be hosting your classic movies or anime, bro, they're gonna shut that stuff down. Put all your ish on a hard drive or burn it onto a disc or something, because they're gonna take all of this down, you know. And then you'll be stuck there, paralyzed, suffering, and lost. Your comfort taken away from you, and you'll be forced to eat slop. So put it on a disc, man. Put it on
Buried in a forest somewhere.
Totally. I'm gonna do that before I die. I'm gonna take everything that I love, bro, put it in a giant treasure chest, and bury it like 7 feet underground. Nobody, none of these niggas are touching my stuff, bro. Like, hell no.
Make sure that it's like outdated technology on purpose, so that they have to work for it in the future. Like, well, damn, this guy was still using USBs. This is ancient technology.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna make sure that they have to decipher everything.
Yeah, they gotta decipher everything.
Yep. Okay, y'all, that's it for now. We'll be back on another stream next week. Peace. All right.